Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hi, helloey. My name is Loey, and today, for the first time in a while, actually, we're going back to the haunted side of TikTok. As always, these videos are literally only possible because of you guys and seeing you tag me in your favorite scary finds on TikTok. So follow me at loeybugxo over there and give me a tag in any scary videos you come across. A mother on TikTok going under the name Lucinda Mackey123 was just sitting down to watch some TV with her kids when her Netflix started doing something very strange.
We don't think this is supposed to do this, but every time we go in to go watch a movie. Okay, now that we're in, click on it.
Did you get it?
And then,
Go.
hold on, let's see. Click a movie to watch. Oh, this one works. Oh, look.
And this is obviously really creepy, but the top comment on the video says, "That's a still from the trailer for September 5th, which was a movie on Netflix that came out last year based on the Munich massacre of 1972. It is like a historical drama that follows the events of this tragedy that took place beat for beat." The commenter goes on to say, "But it's from like halfway into the trailer. Weird that it's from the image that loads for the trailer." And the poster responded to one comment saying, "I'm crying, who was that?" by basically confirming this.
So it was the ad that was on the television for the September 5th. I don't know if it's a documentary or movie. I actually just looked it up, and it's a truly tragic event that happened back, I think, in the 70s, 60s, 70s during the Olympics.
So not paranormal on this one. It was kind of sniffed out quickly, but super creepy. And the internet was totally convinced that this was like a haunted, possessed TV for a bit.
Okay, y'all, I'm kind of spooked. Let me tell y'all what's been going on with me.
TikTok user thecandacedior is no stranger to paranormal activity, but even she was understandably terrified when one night her son would not stop talking about the monster in his bedroom. I know, standard kid stuff, right? Like, why would you be afraid of the monster your child says that he sees? But the story is really, really weird. So she goes into her son's room one night, says, "Good night, time to go to bed." And he says to her, "Mommy, will you make the monster in my room leave?" She does her best, but he's like, "We need to call in reinforcements, okay? The monster's not leaving." They go downstairs to get his father. And as they're doing that, he suddenly stops and he's like, "The monster just left."
So I get my son out the bed, right? And we're getting ready to walk. We're walking out of his room. And he was like, "The monster just left." Like, literally just like that. And I'm like, "Well, where did he go?" And he was like, "He went out the room." And I said, "Okay." I go downstairs and we go get my husband. We come back. Now we're both in his room, right? We're all three of us are in there. And my husband is like, playing along, like telling the monster to leave. Like, "You need to leave. I'm gonna beat you up." And, just playing along. So my son is just like, okay. So I don't know if when we walked out the room and he said that the thing, whatever it is, walked out too and didn't come back. I don't know, but my son was just like, okay. The next morning, when I went in his room to go get him, he had the blanket completely over his head. I said, okay, my baby is scared because he's never done that, right? I'm like, okay. But he didn't say anything. He didn't mention it.
But then over the following couple of weeks, her son would just from time to time mention this monster. And she said that this fear was different. Like, this is her son truly terrified by something he is seeing.
So a few nights ago, me and my husband are laying in the bed and my son and my middle daughter were downstairs. He comes dashing up the stairs, like running up the stairs, and he's terrified, like shaking. And he's like, "Mommy, the monster won't stop looking at me." And I'm like, I said, "Baby, like, remember, there's no monster. We made the monster go." He was like, "No, he's downstairs." Like, I've never seen him like this, right? So he gets in the bed, like literally tucks himself under my husband, like under the blanket, and is just like, won't move. I'm a believer, right? I've heard things with my own ears and I've seen things with my own eyes. And anyone who knows me knows that my mom's house it be some freaky shit. It be some extraterrestrial paranormal shit going in my mama's house, right? So anytime anyone tells me that they've experienced something paranormal, I believe them. So I'm believing my son. So like now I'm just like, okay, what is going on, y'all?
While this one didn't have any like paranormal footage or anything like that, the story was so unsettling, and I understand that kids have overactive imaginations. I understand that not everything that they say is scaring them in the middle of the night is going to be a ghost. But I also think that kids kind of have this like ability to experience things that very jaded adults cannot. It's almost like we gain this sort of like spiritual ego, is how I've always heard it described. Like we almost put a veil in front of our own eyes as we get older and learn things like logic and reasoning and why things may not be, I don't know, metaphysical. You know what I mean? I've always heard it explained that way, and I just feel like parents know best. And so if that's what her baby is seeing, and that's what she is saying as well, you know, that this is not like her son, this seems like weirder and darker and scarier, I believe her. This TikTok from welcomehomelove is simply captioned, "I'm supposed to be home alone." At the end of the video, you can see what looks to be a pair of shoes under the door, and then they move away as the video cuts off. Now, when I first watched this, I assumed it was not real. I assumed it was just another mimic video. If you're unfamiliar with mimics, they are a type of paranormal entity that can mimic you, a loved one, and their goal is to like lure you into something, lure you into opening a door, or I don't know, talking to them, whatever. And they're the easiest paranormal videos in the world to fake, right? Because all you have to do is record a video of anything and then put some creepy noises over it, you know? So that's what I assumed this was. But interestingly, when I went to the account to see like, were there any other videos? Because I remember this one going very viral. A lot of these that I have saved are from back in February, because this year's been so crazy, I haven't gotten around to talking about a lot of these. And the account is gone, just completely gone. So no idea what happened there, but hopefully that totally real mimic did not get them. The next TikTok is from celinaspookyboo. Now, Celina does make videos from time to time about the paranormal activity in her home. But as she explains it, she doesn't talk about it often, as it seems to almost make it worse. Well, recently, she had an experience she couldn't ignore.
I don't talk about the ghosts in my house very much because the more I talk about them, the more it happens. I hadn't talked about them in months. Nothing had happened. The other day I had a friend over. We got talking about it. Things got weird. Woke up this morning and this door going into a bathroom, into an office, was open. Just chilling my birds out to death. Okay, then we're laying in bed. We're like, huh, that's really weird. So I have a bidet toilet. Listen what happens when you walk near it. That only happens if you walk near it. The toilet goes off. I go, cool. So when you sit on it, you know, it makes this noise. You can hear somebody sit on, heard it, okay? Then my phone, then Siri goes, sorry, can you repeat that? I'm not even scared. It was a ghost having his morning routine. A little dumpy wumpy, asking Siri for some tunes, but why are they trying to kill my birds?
I love that she totally respects the ghosts and their spooky dookie here. But as a mother of two budgies myself, I understand the importance of not letting your birds get too cold. So don't love that part. Hopefully the ghost was listening during this little TikTok recording and knows to chill out on leaving doors open at night. Now, in order to set up this next one, I have to do a little bit of a shameless self-plug, because recently for a TikTok video and just in my own time, I've been keeping up with updates on the Aaron Goodwin murder for hire case, which Aaron is a member of the Ghost Adventures cast, if you're familiar with that show. And recently it came out that his wife was literally plotting his murder with a man in prison that she discovered because she was watching his true crime documentary. It is insane. This true crime documentary would end up leading to this woman putting a hit out on her husband. Yes, that is Aaron from Ghost Adventures. and his wife in 2022 when they got married outside of Disney's Haunted Mansion. As of right now, I don't think we know what in the world gave her this idea, but Victoria Goodwin, although I guess that's not going to be her name much longer, apparently saw that documentary Control Alt Desire about the Grant Amato case, looks Grant up and is like, ooh, I want a piece of that. Ew, weirdo. Over the next couple of months, she starts plotting a murder for hire plot, apparently going so far as to take out a contract and sending Grant Amato money in jail. So apparently the text exchanges began in May 2024 after Victoria saw Grant in the Paramount Plus docuseries Control Alt Desire. They start communicating via text and apparently are madly in love with each other at some point. I don't know if she reaches out because she thinks he's fine. I don't know if they fell in love over the course of it. Ew. But the important detail here is that she says that her husband, Aaron, will not accept a filing for divorce. At one point going so far as to ask Amato, am I a bad person because I chose to end his existence, not divorce? Apparently, when confronted with these text messages, Victoria went on to tell police that she did not recall sending them and that any evidence that she was sitting there telling Grant Amato that she was in love with him was all a big fantasy in her head. Those text messages started in May of 2024. She was arrested March 6th. This is a Valentine's Day photo from this year that Aaron posted to his Instagram. Imagine just going out for a Valentine's Day date with your husband who you had an entire murder for hire plot going for months. I believe the communication between them ceased in October of last year. Grant and Victoria, I mean. So she's in jail, he's filed for divorce, but Aaron is also seeking punitive damages because apparently there was some other stuff going on in their marriage where she was very controlling and apparently abusive and confined him to boundaries of her choosing. There's this vacation vlog of the two of them on Aaron's YouTube channel that people are talking about a lot because this trip happened at the same time that she was literally planning the murder for hire plot and talking to Grant Amato on the daily, telling him she was in love with him and that she needed Aaron, her husband, dead. The whole thing is crazy. I'm glued to every single update. Not to make light of it, but I've seen a lot of people say that Zach Bagans is already trying to kill this man in every episode of Ghost Adventures. But in all seriousness, I just cannot imagine the betrayal that you would feel. Thank God he's okay and found out now before something terrible happened. But yeah, stay spooky and stay safe out there, friends. Okay, so because I've been keeping up with that, Ghost Adventures stuff has just been all over my timeline. It's you get into one video with a certain hashtag and then your entire feed is screwed. Some of it has been Ghost Adventures clips, some of it has been stuff about this case that I just told you about, but I've also been seeing some stuff come up once again about Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum. And this TikToker, hyperrebellionism, well, he tells his story about going to Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum back in 2017, specifically prefacing it with, you should never go into places with heavy demonic activity, giggling at everything and taking it all very lightly. I've been to the Haunted Museum once, I think in 2019 or maybe it was 2018, and it definitely is an unnerving place. There's an energy that's just unexplainable there. If you're a minor, you can't go in. It's like a 90-minute guided tour. You can't film anything and you see some genuinely crazy stuff. And he talks about how during his tour, there was this guy who was there with two girls and he's cracking jokes. He's not taking anything seriously. He's basically mocking this place and saying, it's not haunted. And apparently they reach a spot near the end of the tour where this man has a sudden change of heart.
The last part of the tour, the rooms to go in were optional because the items you're about to encounter were demonic. The two girls went into the Dybbuk box room. That was the first room. The real Dybbuk box. I'm talking about the one from the movie. He looked in and he looked for about 20 or 30 seconds because I was coming up. And I watched him change. He had his hat on backwards the entire time, but he turned it forward and kept his head down like this. I saw fear enter this man's body. He went from being this douchebag, show-off, cracking jokes, to being a frightened little boy. When I walked past him, he was looking down at the ground when we went into the next room to look at this demonic doll. After the end of the tour, him and those two girls were the first to leave. They were gone. Do not think for a second that you can go into these demonic places, laugh at these entities, thinking nothing's going to happen to you.
I was trying to map out the haunted museum in my head and figure out what did they encounter that affected this man so heavily. And listen, it's been many years since I've been to the haunted museum, so my memory could be skewed, things could have been different when they went, but what I think this guy may have encountered was this haunted doll room. Again, I don't know if this was there at this time, but this is just my theory, where they keep Peggy, the haunted doll. And Peggy is said to be one of the most dangerous haunted dolls of all time. Some people going so far as to say that looking at a photo of her will cause you paranormal activity. And because I have a bit of a backstory with this doll and my own paranormal experience with her, we're gonna do a story time real quick. So many years ago, kind of when I had first started pivoting to paranormal content, I made a video on Peggy the haunted doll. And I remember that when I was initially looking her up, I saw that it was said that even looking at a photo of her can cause you extreme physical reactions. It can cause you to be haunted, whatever. When I filmed my video, I was getting ready beforehand and I thought I saw somebody standing behind me in my little cosmetic mirror. I made my video. I told that story back then. I have not watched that video back or anything, so maybe other things happened, but that's specifically what I remember. Now, years after that, I go to Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum. And I am wildly uncomfortable the entire time. I will just be totally upfront. I don't love the energy in that place by any stretch of the imagination. And I don't think that it pretends to be an energetically nice place. So I'm not putting that on the business. I was uncomfortable the whole time. I've always been very sensitive to that kind of stuff. There's also some dark history behind a lot of what's there that's just emotionally sort of heavy in a very realistic way. So we're going through our tour. I'm there with a bunch of my friends. I think we were in Vegas for my birthday. And we reach this room and they basically have a spirit box running, or at least they did at this time, just all the time. And we're in there with the rest of our tour group. It's me, it's my friends, and then there's a couple of strangers in our group. And everybody starts asking Peggy specifically questions. I think that the tour guide had told us to, ask her questions if we really wanted to. The room was also optional, and some people opted out of it. We were warned before we went in that Peggy is an incredibly powerful haunted doll. So we all go in, everyone's trying to talk to her. I pipe up real quick. Nobody's getting a response. And I'm like, hi, Peggy. And she immediately responds to me. So everyone's like, oh my God, she wants to talk to you. And I'm already kind of oh God, she wants to talk to me because I made that video about her. And girl may have paid me a visit back then too. So I think I'm asking her very basic stuff like, how old are you? Just stuff like that. And she's responding to me immediately. Everyone in the tour group is looking at me are we getting punked right now? Are you in on this? Why is she only responding to you? I don't know. As we continue talking to her, I'm not getting any kind of crazy responses, but the air and it feels like the room starts closing in on me. And I am someone with anxiety. Don't get me wrong. I've experienced many a freaking panic attack. I've never experienced anything like I experienced in that room. It felt like the room was getting smaller. It felt like everything was spinning. My chest felt tight. I couldn't breathe. Even remembering it back now, I have the same tightness in my chest. It was like I could hear her laughing at me, but she wasn't laughing through the spirit box or anything. And I ended up leaving the room. I was so quiet the rest of the day. I remember we had plans to go out and I had to literally drag myself out of the hotel to do it because I just felt so off kilter afterwards. And that experience is actually why I have decided I probably will never go back. I mean, never say never, It's why right now, if you ask me if I would go back, I'd probably say no. A crazy ghost clip from TikTok user Chawachee has been going viral the past few months. And this guy literally gets into a fist fight with a ghost.
My front camera is smashed, but I'm here at my girlfriend's house by myself. She always says it's haunted because it sounds like somebody is walking around upstairs. I've never heard it until now. I always say that it's not haunted because the house is a little old. but it legit sounds like there's somebody upstairs. I will swing on a ghost, or if it's a person, I don't care. Who's up there? Oh my god, they're like at the top of the stairs. Come down these stairs and I will swing on you, I promise.
We watched this on stream originally and I was laughing so hard. He just goes in guns a-blazing, like he doesn't give a crap when he starts swinging. It made me laugh so hard. You guys know I'm getting a little bit more skeptical with like paranormal videos and stuff like that online, but I gotta give it to him on this one. That punch looked real. He almost knocked out on those stairs. I'm gonna say that was a real ghost running down the stairs at him, and in that case, it was a pretty rational response. Okay, the next few TikToks are from madyrose.xo. Maddie Rose posted a really bizarre video of what looks to be a shadow person standing behind her car. Now I'm gonna let her tell you kind of what she was feeling and what she was thinking at this time.
I understand this is probably going to sound insane or look like a blur to you, but I was crying. I watched this thing move across in my rearview mirror when I was driving back of my car to the front. I could see it from outside and in the mirror. I got out of my car, like staring at me, but if I looked away, I couldn't find it until it was closer. I have never felt fear like this. The hair on my arms was standing up. I was crying on the phone with my mom, waiting for my stepdad to come over because I couldn't believe this is what I really saw.
As netizens are trying to figure out like what this thing is, you know, a trick of the camera lens, is it an actual shadow person? Is it a real person? This poster follows up by saying that actually her neighbor has been having some really weird experiences as well that totally sound paranormal.
Her side door has been opened repeatedly throughout the last week, and that door does not have a key. It can only be opened from the inside. She keeps coming home, or her friend comes home. There's nothing missing, but the door is wide open. Nobody is able to unlock it except for them from the inside. She just called me to tell me about it, and I just told her about what happened with me. So this is directly outside of my house. This is going to be where the car is parked and exactly like where everything is. As you can see, there's literally nothing. And here is from the angle of the car.
And listen, there were people in the comments saying that they saw it clear as day. There were some people like, I literally don't see what you're talking about. She tries to recreate it by going outside, and while it is like dark, it doesn't look like a person is standing there. Like, I look back at the original video and it really does look like a shadow person is standing behind her car. This one is weird to me because I really tried to debunk it. This original poster was replying to comments, you know, not really looking for a paranormal explanation. Like, she was totally willing to accept rational, logic-based explanations. And most of the comments explaining it away said, you know, maybe we were just seeing something that looks like a person when really it's just, I don't know, a weird shadow. But every time I watch it back, it really does look like a person to me, especially when compared with the second clip where you just can't see anything like that. A recent video was posted that a lot of people are saying is that of La Llorona. It was posted by Oscar Martinez 049. Now in this clip, if you watch kind of like behind this truck, you'll see what appears to be a woman in white walking down the road. If you look at the timestamps, it's like really early in the morning and there are these dogs that are going absolutely nuts when it happens. this are hard for me because it's like, what is the likelihood that that just is a person, you know? Whether they're trying to set up this for a hoax or it's just somebody walking down the street and from very far away, they look really creepy in the dark. You know what I mean? Recently, Tisha Stewart, 21, posted a video of her chicken coop. Now, what's possibly creepy about that? Well, she claims that you can see something in this clip that's abnormal. The audio is just like copyrighted music, so I'm not playing that. But for me, the entire time I'm watching this clip, I think it's like what we're supposed to be looking at is this thing that almost looks like it's peeking around the fence. But then in the close-up, she shows something else that looks like an owl or something like that. People in the comments were saying it's a duende. I don't think this is anything at all. I feel like usually I'm the one who's always like, oh, I can see what they're seeing. This is the first time ever where I'm sitting here just completely stumped. I feel like I'm having an experience you guys may have when you watch my videos because I just don't see anything. I literally just jump scared myself with this TikTok. I haven't watched a lot of these back in a while, so sometimes I have to like watch them between takes of filming videos just to refresh myself on the content. Usually it just takes a second and I like jog my memory on what the video is. And I literally forgot what this one was because it's just captioned, "You are never alone in the Appalachian Mountains." And I literally just had a heart attack. And this is clearly a repost from a TikTok account called Haunted TikToker. I don't think this is paranormal. I think this is clearly like some kind of skit or hoax or whatever, but it scared the crap out of me. I probably honestly would have axed this from the video and found something else to talk about, but because it scared me so bad, I have to share it with you. A mom on TikTok posted a video saying that her son had borrowed her phone to film himself playing with his toys. Not an uncommon thing for him to do. What was uncommon, however, was what he caught on camera.
My son borrowed my phone to film a movie with his toys. He does this often.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello.
I was outside gardening.
Come in. Come in.
With the creepy editing and stuff, I don't think this is a real case of like a mimic or something, but the way his toy fell in the end, he did seem genuinely scared. So I wonder if like that part was real. Maybe that part is paranormal, but also it probably isn't. It's probably nothing. Hey, I really don't like how many of you tagged me in this next TikTok.
Oh my god, there's a ghost. Do you guys see that? There's a ghost. There's literally a ghost in my apartment.
You guys don't have to roast me so loudly, okay? But it did make me laugh, so it's fine. I'm not so sure this next one is paranormal, which somehow makes it much scarier. It comes from adventureswithdbabyy, who captioned this, either someone is living in the attic space or something supernatural is going on. What do you all think? Now, she is much too calm for my liking. I mean, I guess she didn't see it fully lift, like the attic door lift, but she just turns back around and goes back to what she was doing, you know, unlocking the door. I would be sprinting down the staircase again. But they end up going up there with a camera in a follow-up, and I mean, there's nothing up there. It kind of looks like there's like a blanket and maybe a pillow, so maybe someone is living up there, but it doesn't look, I guess, as if I would assume it to look if someone was like frogging, like living there without anyone's knowledge. Another Appalachian Mountains TikTok. This one is once again from Haunted TikToker, so I'm not sure of the original source, but it's captioned, "If you hear something, no you didn't."
Mike.
Listen, I don't love that we've gotten to the point where when we hear people screaming, we immediately think it's some sort of paranormal entity. There are totally rational reasons for being freaked out by someone screaming. I mean, it's like a human instinctual thing to think to yourself, that person is in danger, I could be in danger as well. But I've seen so many videos like this, and they always just make me really uncomfortable, because if that's real, if someone is truly screaming like that, call for help. Do something other than assuming that it is a creepy Appalachian Mountains creature. And I'm sorry, I understand that like the folklore of this area in particular might lend some credence to something mimicking that sort of sound in the woods. And I totally believe that, but I think the two things can be true. I think that maybe there is some type of entity that can mimic human behaviors or sounds or whatever and try to lure you into this false sense of security. I also think that if you hear disembodied screaming, the safest thing you can do is call the cops. If you have an Airbnb horror story, I guarantee you it's not as scary as TikTok user adiebb was, because this man walked right on in on a devil summoning.
I was staying in an Airbnb for a couple of days because they were trying to fix something in my apartment, and I booked a room in a random apartment type thing, you know what I mean? And the host family is very nice. They've been very sweet. It's been a couple of days. They're like East European, but I don't know from where. Very lovely. They're always trying to feed me. The food looks a little bit like war rations and it's beige and gray all the time, but it's good. You know what I mean? So I told them I was going to be out for the majority of the day, and I was. I came back after like 5-6 hours, you know what I mean? I get into the house, and usually like the living room is like well lit because they're always hanging out there, right? So I'm like opening the door, and like I realize like it's pitch black. Like I was like, oh, that's weird. Maybe they're not home. You know what I mean? Not a big deal. All of a sudden, I hear someone screaming at me, "Close the door." I was like, okay, whoa. Whoa! I go, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God. I walk in with my right foot. I'm like, I close the door. I'm like, hello? It's pitch black. They reorganized the living room. There's one singular table in the middle of the living room, 4 chairs, 4 people living, like sitting around it. The husband and wife that are hosting me, and then 2 other older ladies. They're all holding hands, and there are candles around them. So I go like, I'm really sorry, and like I was about to finish the sentence. The guy, like the husband, looks at me and he's like, I was like, they're sacrificing me. Like that's why this is happening. Like they timed it right. I'm gonna be on this table soon enough. Sorry, like it's taking me like a minute to take off my shoes because they're very anal about no shoes in the house. So it's taking me a minute to take off my shoes. And all I see, like, in the background, like, all I hear is them being like, and there's one of the ladies, like, super wrinkly, with the candlelight, like, terrifying, like, rolling her eyes. I was like, I'm gonna get sacrificed. Like,
and this is terrifying. Obviously, this guy has a great sense of humor about it, but walking in on that in an Airbnb would be absolutely terrifying. Well, later on, the husband comes to his room, knocks on the door, and he's like, hey, all of that is done. I'm sorry about earlier. And he goes on to explain that they were trying to talk to his wife's mother. Now, this poster is like, that was not who you were talking to.
The husband is there, and he's like, I'm really sorry about earlier. We thought you were going to be out for a little bit longer, and we were just trying to talk to her mother. I was like, oh, and that was what's going on? Like, you guys were just talking to her? Why was it like that? And he was like, oh, no, her mother is dead. I was like, oh. Like we were trying to speak to the spirits that know her, and then we were going to connect that way. But the woman had to leave because she said the connection was disconnected once you walked in. I was like, yeah, because I mentioned God. Yeah, I did that. Sorry, you were not speaking to her mom, okay? That was something else, and it wasn't her mother, okay? You watch Hereditary. Come on, come on. I was like, listen, she wasn't even doing that good of a job. Whether it was real and she was actually possessed, or if she just watched like one horror movie and did an Oscar performance just then and there, I don't care. But that was really weird, and she was not speaking to her mother.
Was it this like medium or channeler or whatever you want to call her doing a really great job at acting, or was all of this real? I don't know, but I know that the fear that this guy felt was very, very real. I've never rented just a room in an Airbnb. I've only ever like rented, you know, a whole place or something like that, like an apartment, a house, whatever. And I can imagine something like this being the reason you might stop renting out rooms on Airbnb. I'm gonna quit rambling. It is literally 3 in the morning. Oh dear. I need to go to bed. So I'm gonna go ahead and go, but thank you so very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much to my subscribers who are members of the channel. If you wanna join the channel memberships and get extra members exclusive perks like members only videos and other cool stuff, you can click that little join button somewhere around the screen. We would love to have you. An extra special thank you to my VIP loves for their continued and generous support of the channel. I love and appreciate you all very, very much. I love you all very much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.